Julius Streicher, Nazi leader and Hitler's most loyalist. He was born on February 12, 1885 in Fleinhausen, Kingdom of Bavaria, German Empire, son of a primary school teacher. Like his father, Streicher began his career as a primary school teacher in the Franconian city of Nuremberg in 1909. With the outbreak of World War I, he joined the German army in 1914 and was awarded the Iron Cross first and second class for bravery in World War I and was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, despite several reports of his poor behavior in his military record. After the end of World War I, Germany was defeated and economically devastated. The Treaty of Versailles had greatly reduced Germany's military power. Streicher concluded that communists and Jews were conspiring against Germany, which made him a radical anti-Semite. In 1920, he joined the German Socialist Party, Deutsche Sozialistische Partei. He was obsessed with anti-Semitic theories that were too radical even for this group. The party found him dangerous and criticized him for his obsessive hatred of Jews and foreign races. He tried to move the German socialists in a more strongly anti-Semitic direction, which caused opposition within the party, so he left the party. In 1921, he visited Munich to hear Adolf Hitler speak. After hearing Hitler's speech, Streicher believed from this point forward that it was his destiny to serve Hitler. When asked about that moment, he said, "It was on a winter's day in 1922. I sat unknown in the large hall of the Bürgerbräu house. Suspense was in the air. Everyone seemed tense with excitement, with anticipation. Then suddenly a shout, 'Hitler is coming!' Thousands of men and women jumped to their feet as if propelled by a mysterious power. They shouted, 'Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler!' And then he stood on the podium. Then I knew that in this Adolf Hitler was someone extraordinary. He was one who could wrest out of the German spirit and the German heart the power to break the chains of slavery. Yes, yes, this man spoke as a messenger from heaven at a time when the gates of hell were opening to pull down everything. And when he finally finished, and while the crowd raised the roof with the singing of the Deutschland song, I rushed to the stage." Same year, Streicher joined the Nazi Party, persuading his followers to merge with the Nazi Party. He brought with him enough members of the German Socialist Party to double the size of the Nazi Party overnight. In May 1923, he founded the newspaper Der Sturmer. The main aim of this paper was to spread anti-Semitic propaganda. In the newspaper, Streicher argued that the Jews were responsible for the depression, unemployment, and inflation in Germany. Also began to write anti-Semitic books for children and even the blind. He played a major role in spreading anti-Semitism in Germany. In November 1923, Streicher participated in Hitler's first attempt to seize power, the Beer Hall Putsch in Munich. He marched in the front rank with Hitler in the Munich Putsch, but the coup attempt failed and the Nazi Party was banned. As a result of his participation in the attempted Putsch coup, he was suspended from teaching school. His loyalty to the cause earned him Hitler's lifelong trust and protection. He later became one of Hitler's few true confidants. Julius Streicher, Rudolf Hess, Emil, Maurice, and Dietrich Eckart were the only Nazi members mentioned in Hitler's Mein Kampf book. Hitler praised him for subordinating the German Socialist Party to the Nazi Party, a move Hitler believed was essential to the success of the Nazi Party. On December 20, 1924, Hitler was released from prison for his role in the Putsch coup. Streicher was one of the few followers waiting for him in his Munich apartment. Hitler valued his loyalty and faithfulness throughout his life and remained loyal to Streicher even when he was in trouble with the Nazi hierarchy. On 27 February 1925, Adolf Hitler re-established the Nazi Party, and in 1925, Streicher was appointed provincial leader of Nuremberg and Franconia. In July 1932, he was elected as a deputy of the Reichstag from Franconia, a seat he held throughout the Nazi regime. After the Nazi Party came to power in 1933, Streicher helped to organize a one-day boycott of Jewish businesses on 1st April 1933. Streicher became a member of the SA on 27th January 1934 with the rank of SA Gruppenführer and was promoted to SA Obergruppenführer on 9th November 1937. The Der Sturmer newspaper initiated the general campaign that led to the passage of the Nuremberg laws in 1935. Despite his Der Sturmer success and his strong personal relationship with Hitler, after 1938, Streicher's position began to unravel. He was accused of corruption, keeping Jewish property seized after Kristallnacht in November 1938, also accused of spreading false stories about Hermann Göring, such as alleging that Göring was impotent and that his daughter was a test tube baby. He was brought before the Supreme Nazi Party court and pronounced him unfit for leadership and stripped of his party post. Although Streicher had lost credibility in party by the 1940s, he continued to edit and distribute his anti-Semitic propaganda newspaper. Hitler remained committed to Streicher, whom he considered a loyal friend despite his unsavory reputation. Streicher's wife, Kunigunde Streicher, whom he married in 1913, died in 1943 after 30 years of marriage. After Adolf Hitler committed suicide on 30th April 1945, Nazi Germany surrendered unconditionally to their allies on 7th May. Streicher went into hiding, disguised as a painter, and also married his former secretary, Adele Tappe. On May 23, 1945, Streicher was captured by the American officers in the town of Weidring, Austria. Streicher was called as the dirty old man because he allegedly washed his face in the toilet bowl of his cell. He was said to have the lowest low IQ of those Nazis on trial and was considered by many observers to be insane. Almost all of his fellow accused war criminals considered Streicher unfit to socialize with him. When the prison physicians asked him to undress for the standard physical examination, a female Russian interpreter stepped to the door and looked away, leading a leering Streicher to ask, "What's the matter? Are you afraid of seeing something nice?" Disgusted, the girl shivered in revulsion and remained turned away from him. Streicher was tried at the Nuremberg Trials along with other top Nazi leaders for war crimes before the International Military Tribunal at Nuremberg. During his trial, he claimed that he had been mistreated by Allied soldiers after his capture. He was not a member of the military and did not take part in planning the Holocaust or the invasion of other nations. But most of the evidence against Streicher came from his numerous speeches and articles over the years. His articles and speeches were so inflammatory that he was an accessory to murder, and therefore as guilty as those who ordered the mass extermination of the Jews. He was convicted of crimes against humanity and sentenced to death. Julius Streicher was hanged at Nuremberg prison in the early hours of 16 October 1946, along with the 9 other condemned defendants from the first Nuremberg trial. His last words before execution, at the bottom of the scaffold, he shouted, "Heil Hitler!" His final declaration before the hood went over his head was, "The Bolsheviks will hang you one day." Also apparently said, "Adele, my dear wife." The execution of Julius Streicher did not go ahead as planned. Eyewitnesses agree that he died by slow strangulation rather than by the quick death from spinal severing, typical with the type of hanging used at Nuremberg. It is believed that the executioner had to intervene under the gallows to silence and finish Streicher, who was still groaning and swinging on the rope moments after the release of the trap door.
Our channel, ThePastQuest. We only post videos about history. Subscribe the channel and support us. Thank you for watching.